Hello, everybody. It's me, Shannon LaBruyere. I am live and loving it tonight. I am so excited to welcome you to Sunday Night Live, where we equip people to thrive in change. The change that we don't want, that's difficult to process, we gotcha. But also the change that you want to happen, that intentional change that you've been dreaming about, putting off, maybe just started and then got scared and stopped, those kinds of changes, we're here to help you with that too, because I am convinced that as this world changes and as we change and grow, we are able to thrive in the midst of it, even if it's challenging, even if it's tough. And if we know the right principles to apply, we are going to be thriving. Our branches are going to be full of green leaves and fruit. It's going to be amazing. So welcome, everybody. Hi, Carol. Hi, Kelly. Thanks for jumping on. Let me know you're here. Say hi. Give us a wave. If you're new to Sunday Night Live, we'd love to know where you're from. Hey, Tammy, glad you're here. So glad you guys are jumping on. I am super excited about what we're going to talk about tonight because I don't know about you, but when I started looking back, I realized, holy cow, I've spent a lot of time dealing with unwanted change in 2020, certainly. And we've spent a lot of time talking about it here on Sunday Night Live. Oh my gosh, Missy's here with Sean, Sammy, Shawnee. Oh my gosh, the whole family is gathering around. Welcome, Sean and Shawnee. I don't usually see that you're here. And Sammy, you've got a streak going, so welcome. Awesome. So glad you're here. So anyway, we're going to talk about wanted change. So I'm inviting you to think for a second, what is the change that you want to happen as we move forward into 2020, over the next month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months? What change do you want to happen in your life? Because I'm here to tell you that if you have a change that you want to happen, you can make it happen. That's the beauty of it. Yes, I know it's awesome. Yes, it is a beautiful thing to know that when you want a change to happen in your life, there are so many aspects of that you can control. So we're going to talk about it. I'm going to thank our sponsor, Thumb Roast Coffee. If you go to thumbroastcoffee.com and purchase coffee online, you can get 15% off of your order of the best coffee ever. All you have to do is enter Thrive, THRIVE, in the coupon code section, and you'll get 15% off of your order. How cool is that? So thank you, Thumb Roast Coffee, for being a proud and faithful sponsor of Thrive and Change and our Sunday Night Live broadcast. So thankful. All right, let's see what else do we have here as we're wrapping up. Oh, I see Corinne is here, so that's awesome. Okay, we're going to start, you guys, by talking about the Thrive and Change principles. And so I'm going to kind of tick them off for you in case you don't know them. You might want to jot them down because they are very useful in many, many aspects of life. They're very versatile, and they aren't necessarily to-do items. They are to be items. Well, some of them are to do and some of them are to be, but they help us to know how to position ourselves when we're dealing with change. And just even knowing what stance we're going to take as we deal with change is really powerful. So let me see. The first Thrive and Change principle is called Find the Beauty. Number 2 is Trust the Process. Number 3, respect the now. And number 4, bring the honor. I might have done those in a different order, you guys. Possible. Those are the 4 principles, though. And they don't always go step by step. So it doesn't matter what order you approach them in. But I usually talk about them in a similar order. So I'm already off track. We'll rewind and reset here. Okay, let's see. Oh, Carol's just bragging on the coffee, which I appreciate. All right, so let's start with this one. Let's start with bring the honor. So wanted change. If we are intentional about the change that we want to see happen in our lives, when we are intentional about it, that will automatically impact the unwanted change. When we choose what change we want in our lives, it impacts the unwanted change. It impacts the things that are outside of our control. I love to use this example of taking a tennis racket and hitting a tennis ball up against a brick wall, right? And you can just boom, 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 and it'll just get in a rhythm. And you hit the ball and it hits the wall and it comes back the same way. And you get in this rhythm and you do the same thing all the time and you get the same responses back. And then what happens if you shift over a little bit and hit it with a backhand? That ball goes somewhere different because we changed something. So the things that come at us are going to respond differently if we are acting differently. So know this, if you've got wanted change that you know you want to see happen in your life, when you start taking steps to make that happen, it is going to change the unwanted things in your change path. This is a mind-boggling story to me, and it encourages me every time I think about it and share it. And it is not a fluke. So I just want you to know that going up front, it is not a fluke what I'm getting ready to tell you. I was struggling in my government career. I had been there 25, 26 years, had some great ups, some kind of scary downs. There were a few times that my job was eliminated and I wasn't sure what I would be doing. A lot of unwanted change that was coming my way. And what had happened to me was that the job that I had for many years that I excelled at, that was right in my strength zone. Some of you have had jobs like that, right? There was a job that was in my strength zone, and I did wonderful work in that role, in that position. I served my organization well. I excelled. I served the customers and clients well. It was an amazing, great fit. And then there were some changes in management, and I got kind of froze out of that job. And I went to apply to get another job that was real similar in the Postal Service, which was the agency I worked for. Said, no, we don't want you to do that job. We want you to go back over here and do this. And where they wanted me to work, and I was grateful. And please do not read this as a complaint, because I am not complaining. I am grateful that I always knew that I would get a paycheck. But what I saw happening was unwanted changes to what I was going to do every day, who I was going to serve, how I was going to serve them, and what skills I got to use. And I was being boxed in to a role that sucked my soul dry. All right. It just did. It depressed me. It was exhausting. Some of you can maybe relate to that. Maybe you're in a position like that right now. Possibly. I want you to know there's hope. And so I started feeling the pressure of that. And so I made a decision. I decided that instead of always responding to the unwanted change, having to go work in the area that somebody else told me I had to work, using skills that weren't necessarily in my strength zone, I decided that I was going to own my future. And I decided that I wanted to be a speaker and a coach. So I made that decision. As I was working in my government career, I decided I am going to start educating myself to be a speaker and a coach. I want to be able to speak to people and help them to do exactly what we do here on Sunday Night Live. Thrive and change, make the shifts that they need to make to be better leaders, to be better husbands, to be better wives, to be better people, to be successful in all areas of life. So I made that decision. I started doing some research. I decided I am going to go and get certified with John Maxwell, with the John Maxwell team. I made that decision. Talked about it with my husband. We were in agreement. I signed up. I paid the bill. I got ready to start educating myself as a coach and a trainer, and set my course to be able to be certified and be able to have a business that would allow me to leave my government job. So that was my goal, that when I was done with my government career, I wanted to be a coach and a trainer, teach people how to lead themselves and others well. So I began immediately doing my training, my coaching and my leadership training. And within a week of me making the decision that I was going to start implementing wanted change, pursuing what I wanted to do, within a week of that happening, I got a phone call from the top ranked executive in the district I served. And she said, Shannon, I need you to go over here to this facility and begin coaching those leaders on how to do a better job with their employees and help them to learn to communicate better because they aren't serving their customers as well as they could. They need your help. And I was put into a role where I was allowed to use my strengths, use my abilities, use my newly attained education and the tools that I had to be able to use John Maxwell's books and workbooks and tools that would actually allow me to train these teams in a way that I had never had available to me before. And it happened a week after I made my decision to pursue the change I wanted. I changed something about me, and it changed something about everything around me. I did not know that's what was going to happen. I don't promise you that that's the exact thing that will happen for you, but I can tell you this over and over and over. When we act as people of honor and recognize I have gifts, I have abilities, I have talents, I have desires that God placed in me, and it's not just my obligation, but it's my privilege to pursue them and be able to share those with the people that I serve. When we make the decision to do that, it changes all that unwanted change. We've got more tools to respond. Does that make sense? So bring the honor when you're looking at the change that you want to see happen in your life. I want you to look at yourself and say, what am I doing this for? Who am I supposed to serve? How am I supposed to contribute to this world? What am I being called to do? What's my purpose? Are the relationships that I'm entangled in right now allowing me to serve people well? What do I need to change to make that better? When we start examining our lives and saying, what wanted change do I want to see happen? And then we decide to take the next step, that allows us to make the decision that triggers everything else that comes at us to be different. Does that make sense? Raise your hand if that makes sense. I'm seeing a couple of thumbs ups, and that's great. And anybody here, do you have a wanted change that you want to see happen, that you maybe have been on the fence about, but you know in your heart of hearts, I want to do this. I want to see what happens. Share it in our comments. I would love to hear it. I would love for others to be able to see that on the record, right? Be bold. Put it out there. What change do you want for you in your life, in your world, in your job, in your relationships? What change do you want? And put it in that comment box and get it out there. Just see what that feels like to show up with honor and say, I own this. This is a change I want and I own it. I'm a person. Ooh, Kelly says this. This is a powerful one. Take my health more seriously. Yeah. Kelly, how is being a person of honor going to help you do that? What does that mean when we are a person of honor and we honor other people and we honor ourselves, right? Be a person of honor. I love it. And thank you for sharing that, Kelly. Thank you. All right. So here's our next hashtag, and it is respect the now. It is what it is, people. It is what it is. I spent a lot of time dealing with unwanted change by looking backward to how I used to be and saying, I want to be there. I want to go back there, you guys. I don't want to be here. But that doesn't serve us well when we're talking about change and having wanted change in our lives. If we don't understand where we're at, we can't get to where we're going. Like when you go to the mall or you go to the shopping center or Disney World, and you look at the big map and it's got a big Mickey Mouse ears and it says, "You are here." We need to know where we are. That's respect the now. Where are you at? Where am I at? What circumstances am I in? What am I going to need to deal with right now? The challenges and the helps, right? The challenges and the things that will help me. But being able to look at our unwanted change and tell ourselves, okay, where am I at right now? What can I do? What tools do I have? Powerful. All right, so let's see. Tammy's wanted change is opening our scrapbook retreat. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And how exciting to have a place where people can gather and enjoy themselves, be creative, create memories. What a beautiful thing. Bringing the honor to that, Tammy. I love it. Misty says this, put myself out there more to hopefully help others. Being more visible. That's a wanted change so that what you do can impact them more fully. That's beautiful. That's an honorable thing to do. How about this? Corinne says, purposeful work. Purposeful work. That takes some, how do I want to put it? Some reflection, doesn't it? Yeah, some reflection, getting priorities in order. But wow, purposeful work and bringing the honor. What a great combination. What a great compliment to that concept of bringing the honor, saying I'm a person of value who can add value to this world. What does that look like? Asking some of those questions. I love it, you guys. Thank you for sharing. Pop them on if you've got them. I'd love to see them. All right, so bring the honor. When we are designing change in our lives, we want to make sure we're always bringing the honor, that we're doing it for a reason. Who are we doing this for? And what do we want it to do? Those are great questions to ask ourselves to make sure that we are being honorable in the change that we want to see happen, that we're doing it for the right reasons, reasons that matter to us. It's not right reasons and wrong reasons. It's more the reasons that resonate with what we value, reasons that are aligned with our purpose, like Corinne is seeking, reasons that align with what we believe to be important, family, relationships. The list goes on and on. That's a part of bringing the honor. Respecting the now, understanding that I might not have everything I need right now, but what do I have? What are my circumstances? What are my challenges? What are the things that are going to work against me? And what are the things that are going to work for me? Respecting the now, and let me just give this disclaimer because I know sometimes some of you jump to this. Respecting the now does not mean looking at the glass and always seeing it half empty. That's only part of the now. That's only part of it. The bad stuff that's going to make it hard is only part of now. There's always, and we'll talk about this more when we get to find the beauty, for every challenging thing that comes against you in your path to getting the change you want, for every negative thing that's there, there are also things that will help you get there. The things that will prevent you, that will maybe be obstacles or will try to hold you back, they're there, and that's respecting the now. But you can also start looking for right now, what do I have? What could help me? Does that make sense? All right. Now the next one is trust the process. Trust the process. Every journey has a path. To get from point A to point B, if I want to go from here to Florida to visit my dad, I can see me on a map, right? I'm right here. And I can see my dad's in Florida. He's right there. And how many ways is it possible for me to get there? You want to take a guess? There are probably, if you wanted to get really granular about it, there are a million ways for me to get to my dad in Florida, a little over 1,000 miles away. There's probably 1 million ways to go. And does it matter how I get there? It may not. The point is, I'm going. When you are thinking about wanted change, when you are designing your path to get to your wanted change, know this. It is just like getting in the car and getting ready to drive 1,000 miles from Michigan to Florida. I have got probably 25 ways to get out of my subdivision, and all of them work. All of them work. So don't get hung up on which one is the best one. Pick one. Start. The process says that once I start and take a step, the next step will be available to me. We just have to take one step at a time. How refreshing is that to know that you don't have to know the whole plan? You can know there's Florida, and I'm here, and I'm going to get to Florida. And if I drive out from my driveway and go straight down the road and hang a right at the first stop sign, I am going to be closer to Florida than I was before I left. You can handle your wanted change the same way. Don't expect to snap your fingers and be there overnight, but don't get lost in, I don't know every step that I need to take to do it. All you need to know is the next step. That's the beauty of the process of implementing wanted change in our lives. We don't have to know the how. All we have to know is that's where I'm heading. And if I can keep that in my sights, if I can keep that goal in my sights, I can ask myself every day, am I getting closer? Did what I do yesterday get me closer, or did it take me farther away? There are a million ways to get where you want to be. Don't worry about evaluating all 1 million. Pick one, get started, reflect as you go, and you will know, am I getting closer or farther? And the more you walk out your path toward that wanted change, the more you do that, the more clarity you are going to get. Carol says, you always say, just start. Yes, just start. So if you want to write down one thing and underline it with, emphasis, underline that, just start. That's the process. Just start. And if it's not getting you closer to that wanted change that you want, you can turn a little. Oh, I love this. Ron says, you just described our Florida trip, and he's got the laughing emoji. Yes, they had a van load of kids and relatives and drove to Florida and drove home. And I've got to believe that there were some detours and a lot of rest stops and a lot of wandering, perhaps, but a beautiful part of the trip, right? And you arrived. Our journey toward our wanted change is not going to be exact, but we can know if we're heading in the right direction. And by getting started, taking the first step, we then open up a new portfolio, if you will, a new set of options that say, ooh, well, now that I'm here, I can see I could head this way, or I could do that. I could talk to that person. I could go to that school. I could maybe ask them if they want somebody to come and do a lunch and learn for their company, or I could go there. Pick one, get started. That's what you need to know. All right. And the last Thrive principle that we're going to talk about as it relates to wanted change is this one. And it is my favorite probably. And it is find the beauty. Find the beauty. As you're taking a look at your now, as you look at the steps that got you to where you're at right this minute, you might not love where you're at. That's why you want change, right? That's why you want change. But I'm here to tell you that there is beauty in everything that got you to this point. Is it 100% beauty? No, because the brighter the light, the darker the night. You don't have light without darkness. You don't have you have to have them both, or one of them is irrelevant. It just is. The brighter the light, the darker the night, the brighter the light. Always remember that. If things look dark, it also means that there is light somewhere that you can find. So if where you're at, if the reason why you're craving wanted change is because you are sick and tired of the unwanted change, I'm here to tell you there is beauty to be found even in the unwanted change that you've been dealing with, because it brought you here. It brought you to this place. But it brought you to this point. It was not a waste. It was not a waste. Everything that's happened to us to this point in our lives brings something good with it. And often it brings something that's not so good, that we don't welcome. And we get to choose to set that aside. The failures, the mistakes, oh my gosh, I wish I would have planted this tree 20 years ago. Well, the next best time to plant a tree is now, right? Maybe you wish you would have started college 20 years ago. Maybe it would have been better. But Respect the Now says, you are here. What do you do next? And Find the Beauty says, what have I learned in the meantime that I can bring to bear to help me toward this wanted change? We have beauty in every experience, and it exists sometimes at the same time as the negative, bad, the things that make us sad, the change we didn't want. Those things can exist at the same time. They're not either or, they're and. Yes, there's a downside and there's an upside. And we get to choose to find the beauty in circumstances. And when we start actively looking for the beauty, it is amazing what happens to our motivation, to our inspiration. It's amazing what vision we get toward what opportunities there are in front of us. There is beauty when we look for it, and Find the Beauty says, I intentionally look for it. All right, Missy says this, I love the 4 pillars refresher for the beginning of the year. What a great foundation from which to spring. I'm so glad you feel that way, Missy. I feel the same way. I just love this sense of potential that these principles bring us. In the midst of a lot of unwanted change and chaos and confusion, we don't have to be a part of that. We don't have to be distracted by it, because we can start planning the change we want to see happen, be prepared to bring the honor to it. I'm going to show up with my best. I'm going to show up doing my best work, show up aligned with my principles, knowing that what I'm doing aligns with the things that I value and that what they matter. And then we can take a look at it and say, okay, here's where I'm at right now, and I don't love it, but I am ready to step out of this. What do I have that can help me? What do I have that's going to be tougher to deal with? And how can I? Who can help me? Respect the now. Look around you and say, who's with me right now? Who could help me do this, right? Then we move right to trusting that process that says, just start. Just step out. Just start. You can see that destination off in the distance. Just get started, and you will get more clarity as you go. And then finally, that full circle, finding the beauty, that the things that brought me here, that have caused me to want this change, have been helpful. They put me in this position, poised to do great things, poised to step into my purpose, Corinne, poised to be able to start that scrapbook retreat. Or like Carol is, she's poised to plant some trees in the spring. She's got a vision. She told us about it last week of looking out her back window and seeing beautiful trees. What a beautiful thing. The change that you want to see happen is within your power to start. And you are going to find that when you start it, things start to happen. And those unwanted changes all of a sudden start aligning to help you get where you want to go. It's incredible. It works. Us making a decision changes everything. And then as we start to walk, now we are being intentional about the change we want to see happen. And that intentionality counts for something. We're not always just responding and reacting. We're being leaders of ourselves and others. We're being proactive. We're stepping out and making the ripple in the pond. We're stepping out and making the big splash with the boulder that drops. We're the ones who are making the changes. It's a beautiful thing. Kelly, listen to your inner voice. Yeah. Bring the honor. Trust that inner voice that's whispering to you, that's telling you what you need to do next. Listen to it. Honor it. I love it. Thank you, Kelly. Missy says this, these principles have helped me so many times. I always circle back to them during a challenge. And last year I needed to hashtag find the beauty. And this year I am concentrating on hashtag trust the process. Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Missy. And I'm glad that they're helping you and give you a way to focus. I'm so grateful for that. Sometimes we just need that thing that I'm going to trust the process. I'm just going to keep walking. Or if you have a word of the year, you can absolutely work that in through these 4 principles and look at it and say, okay, so how am I going to view this focus word that I have? Mine is to do things with people, not for them. And what changes do I want to see happen that allow me and that help me to grow into working with people and not just doing things for them? What a great platform to use maybe to design a change if you haven't chosen a wanted change. Maybe that would be a great way to look at it. Like, what is your word of the year, and what kind of changes are going to allow that to become more of a part of your life? Pretty cool. All right. With that, I'm going to say farewell. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. One last thing before I go is this coming Saturday, January 16th, I am hosting a party, a virtual party for people who want to work on their vision boards. So if that's you, I want you to check out the Thrive and Change page, because there is an announcement there that allows you to sign up so that you can take part. And I would love to have you. It is only for the people who work with me, and that you count. You count because you're here listening, leaning in, and participating in Sunday Night Live. That counts. And I just want to do something that's uplifting and positive and that will help people to grow. And I think a vision board party is the perfect way to launch a new year. And so if you have ever wanted to do a vision board, even if you don't know anything about it, feel free to sign up. I'll do a little bit of talking about what those vision boards are like. I'll send you a list of all the supplies you need, a couple of worksheets if that's the way you roll, that you can kind of look at and say, okay, let me see what kinds of things do I want on my vision board. Or you can just show up with glue and scissors and magazine and pictures and some poster board, and you can hang with us like that. You get to choose, but I want you to know that you're welcome. So you're going to go to the Thrive and Change page, and you are going to look for the invitation to the party, click RSVP, and you'll start getting all the info you need so that you can be there. Missy, can't wait to go. I can't either. It's going to be really good, Missy, and I'm glad you're planning on attending. Carol says, what you taught us in Saturday morning in our class on Leadership Mastermind class, be more diversified, so important. And if you don't come to our class, sign up. Carol, thank you. Always reminding us of the power of those leadership masterminds, bringing us together and talking about, now we're talking about diversity, right? And how it helps us and how we can become more diverse in our thinking. Pretty powerful. And she's right. You are invited to be part of Livestream Leadership. And you can find that on the Thrive and Change page too. All right. You guys are awesome. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here, for leaning in. I'd love to see you at our vision board party on Saturday. It's from 11 till 1. It's live. It's going to be a blast. I hope you can come. I'll see you soon. Oh, we've already got people saving magazines, so that's perfect. All right. With that, God bless. Take care. Find the beauty this week. Bye.